my darlings, today is Monday and I'm in the mood to tell you a story, so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm like sitting on my chair, cross-legged, just curled up comfy because I have a story that's been on my chest and I just need to get it out. I actually made a tweet semi-talking about this in my vague way a couple weeks ago, and then having written the tweet I was like, oh, I want to tell this story properly and I can't do it in 140 characters, not even like 4 or 5 of them because it's like a tale. And I'm hoping that through making this video it will be kind of therapeutic for me and I can get it off my chest because it's a story that is still weighing on me because I really didn't get closure from the situation. So buckle in, gang, because it's story time. A couple of years ago I used to work as an art teacher for children and I loved this job. I did it for about 3 years and I taught after school art classes and I also taught during school curriculum-based art classes, and I did a whole bunch of really cool stuff with that job and I loved it, and I learned a lot about myself at that job because I learned that I like working with kids and I learned that I love teaching art. I learned so many skills that I just didn't have, and it was like a really positive experience for me. And I worked at this art gallery and I had really great coworkers and I really loved this job. It was great. Through this gallery, a job opening came up to basically do the job I was already doing as like a summer camp-esque thing. It wasn't like a camp, it wasn't like a summer camp, but it was like daytime classes that would be the whole day. I was so excited about this job opportunity because I was already doing that and I knew I would be good at it, so I was like, oh, I should apply for this job. And all of my coworkers are like, yeah, you should apply for this job, you'd be really good at it. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna apply for this job. And so I had to go through the whole application process because you have to post the job publicly so that, you're giving the opportunity to everybody, not just people who already work in, the gallery, which I think is fair and great. And I'm glad that they do that because I think it's good to give everybody a fair chance, So I went through the whole application, I had to fill out all the stuff and bring in my resume, even though I was already working for this gallery, but I was happy to do it because one of my secret fun facts is that I really love job interviews. It's like this weird, I don't know why. I really just like the challenge of it, and you have to work yourself up to do it, and you have to pick out a nice outfit, and there's all these things. I know it's funny because the last story related video I did was also about a job interview in some capacity. But I actually really love job interviews, I just really like it. So I did all that, and it was funny because I was interviewed by essentially some, my coworkers and my boss, but I loved it, and I got in like my little suit, and I was like answering these questions, and I was like really happy to do it. So it's this whole process, but I did it and I got the job. Basically, the responsibilities that the job consisted of was that I was going to be planning all of the classes, planning all the activities, and then I was going to be implementing everything. There were a lot of responsibilities involved in this job, but it's stuff that I already knew how to do and I had experience with, so I felt comfortable and I knew that I was capable of doing it, so I felt really good about it. And basically my boss approached me and he was like, because of the class sizes that you're gonna have, you kind of really need an assistant for this. So we think that it would be best if you pick the assistant because you know more than anyone who works well with you. So my first inclination was just like, we should get my boyfriend to do this because I already knew that I worked pretty good with him, and my first inclination was just like, I can get my boyfriend a job. And how great is that? I can do something for him and I can get him money and that's good for him. I called him up and he was totally interested and he was like, that would be so great, and then we'd be working together. And so I felt very good about this, and I felt like, I did something good for the team, like this is our partnership and I'm doing something good for both of us and we're both going to be making money and working together, and isn't that fun? So I was really excited about that. He didn't have to have any qualifications for this job, which is good because he didn't have any experience doing anything like this. Because they were basically going on my word, he didn't have to have any qualifications. So basically his role was just gonna literally be my assistant, just me being like, okay, we need to do this, can you do this? And they kind of knew him from around, so it wasn't like he was just a stranger, and they hired him based on my word, which was great, and I was really happy about it. The problem came before we even started the job, because I found out through my boyfriend telling me how much he was going to be paid for this job. And it was more than I was getting paid to be his boss. So obviously I'm bothered by this, you know? Like, this upsets me. I'm not angry and I'm not like jealous. I'm just like, I don't really see why you would be paid more than me to be my assistant, especially because my job responsibilities are so much greater and require so much more work and effort and all of these things. And my boyfriend was like, why don't you want me to get paid this much? Like, why would you want me to get paid less? And I was like, no, I don't want you to get paid less. I just don't think that this is fair. I don't think that it's fair for you as my assistant to get paid more than me. And he was like, well, I don't know why you can't just be happy for me. Like, I'm your partner. Shouldn't, you know, why can't you just be happy for me that I'm getting paid this much? As you can imagine, I was not happy with that. And because I'm such a Hermione Granger, I sat down and did the math. And yeah, he was only getting paid like $1 more than me an hour or whatever, like $1.50 or something like that. But by the end of the summer, he was gonna have been paid several $100s more than me to be my assistant. This really, I just couldn't, I didn't like that. And it wasn't like I didn't want good things for him. Frankly, if we had been being paid the same, even though I had more responsibilities than him, I probably would have been okay with that. I went in and I brought my boyfriend and we sat down with my boss. So it was me and my boyfriend and my boss. And I explained the situation and I explained that it upset me. My boss explained, he's like, well, Ange, there's not really anything that we can do about this because your job is coming in through a government grant. Like, a grant through the Canadian government is why we can have this program to begin with. It's a government-sponsored job, so your pay rate is set. And even though I understood that, you know, the pay rate that I am getting paid is not in their control, it still was not good enough for me because my assistant was getting paid more. And he went on to explain, you know, we can pay your boyfriend more because we're paying him, you know, and this is a government thing. We can't change that. We can't pay you more. This is making me feel bizarre because to me, anyone should be able to look at the situation and see that it's like messed up, right? And I just felt like, how are you both not getting why this is an issue? And it literally got to the point where my boss is like, why do you want your boyfriend to get paid less? As if that's what I wanted. Like, I just want him to be paid less. I don't want him to get paid less. I just think that he should be paid with relation to his job and what he's doing, and I should be paid with relation to my job. And to me, like, as a logical person, it seems like there's a very easy solution to this, right? Which is to take the amount that's extra that my boyfriend's getting paid and split the difference and give us both half. So we're both getting paid the same. I literally could have learned to be okay with us both getting paid the same. That would have been, yeah, it's fine, it's kind of annoying, but like I would have been fine with it because whatever. So I'm in this office with these two men and both of them are talking to me like, why are you being so demanding? Like, why do you need to get paid more? As if I'm asking something so outrageous. Like I'm just being super extra and being like, I need to get paid more. But like, I did need to get paid more. Why is someone who's doing less work than me, who has no experience or qualifications, getting paid more than me? It didn't make sense. But because I was in this situation with these two men whom I respected, who were telling me that I was being a certain type of way, and that if I kept insisting on getting my way, I was taking something away from this person who I love, I eventually conceded. I eventually was like, well, I guess this is just how it is. And I went through that whole summer and was paid less than my assistant, who was my partner. And that's messed up. And I think about that probably too much. I think about this, even though like in the scheme of things, it's done, it's over, it's not affecting me anymore, but emotionally it is. And it's like this ghost comes and follows me in every situation and they're like, oh, remember when you just let terrible things happen to you? Remember when you were complicit in your own demise? Like, remember when you just let that happen? And it haunts me. The thing about it is that if that situation was presented to me right now, today, in 2016, I would laugh at everybody, and leave. It wouldn't matter if it was my partner. I'd just be like, bye, and just walk away. I guess that is like a good takeaway, is that I know that I would never allow myself to be treated that way again. I realize that on some level I probably shouldn't be so hard on myself, because there was a lot of like power dynamics happening that really influenced my decision to not make a fuss. But it still bothers me. I should have made a bigger fuss. I really should have. Or I should have walked away from the job and been like, bye. Or I should have gone above that person's head and been like, so this is a situation that I've tried to address and it's not being fixed. Can you do something about this? So that is today's story. It's somewhat, not sad, but it's a little bit regretful on my part, because, you know, something I wish I could have done differently, and I can't now because it's done. Please reach out to me in the comments if you've ever had a situation like this and how you dealt with it, or if you've had a situation where you didn't deal with it and now you regret it so much, because I think those stories are important, and getting them out there and recognizing that we can do better is really important too. I hope it was as cathartic for you to watch as it was for me to make, and I will see you very soon. Bye!